right.
What's up, fuckers? It's the Broken Boys podcast. We're
Yeah.
coming back at you on Discord. Wah, wah, wah,
And
wah.
hey, I don't have to edit in Vine Booms anymore.
Hell yeah.
We can do it ourselves.
I killed Kurt Cobain.
Wow.
Your mom's a hoe. Just kidding. Your mom's a lovely woman.
Um, I love that duck noise. Um, yeah, we're gonna add more sounds to the soundboard in the future to be more annoying. But
Yeah.
we
Like a
figured
real
we're
pun.
yeah, we figured we're a little too monotone, so just adding some stuff to spice it up.
We're
Um,
pretty fucking boring, so we need
yeah,
some way to make comedy in this podcast.
yeah, some way to spice things up in the bedroom.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'm Mike.
I'm Colin. This is episode 135.
35. Woo.
Yeah, and for those people who've been around for a while, or maybe it's your first time and you don't know, those who do know that every 5 episodes we do a little thing called artist analysis,
Hell
where
yeah, we
we
do.
talk about, where we listen to an artist's entire discography, and then we talk about it, we rate it, we give our favorite songs from the albums and such. Yeah, it's a fun time. We've done many of them. So
And who are we covering today, Colin? They haven't seen the
we're
title.
we're covering Paramore.
Mm.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
But before we do that, how was your week, Mike?
Week was all right. I did a little bit more stuff. Got some more things in here.
Glad to hear
Um,
that.
the first thing we did, I believe we mentioned it on the last episode, but last Saturday, aka 2 Saturdays from when you're listening to this, if you're listening to it when it's uploaded. Um, we went to the Nothing But Thieves show up in Chicago, and
Yeah.
yeah, it was a pretty good time. We went with you and your brother, as well as your friend that met us with one of her friends. Um,
Yes.
was a good time. My main thing in there was just that was my first time ever driving in Chicago, driving in the literal city, which I don't know. I mean, I feel like it'd probably only be like this for like Chicago, New York, and L.A. But if you don't live anywhere near any of those cities, I don't think you understand the kind of fear that happens when you're driving on those roads. um,
Yeah.
I've tried
It's a
to
bit of
put,
a
yeah. I mean, we're not too far from Chicago, like our hometowns. Like both of us have been there a whole bunch of times, plethora of times. Um, but I've tried to put off driving there as much as I could. And then Mr. Colin, I think day before or something, was like, "Hey, since I drove to 21 Pilots, you want to drive?" And like, I guess that's fair.
Could
um,
have said
so
no. It's
I know I could have, but it had to happen at some point. It's okay.
I bought I bought your damn Raising Canes, right?
You kind of went muffly there. What'd you say?
I bought your damn Raising Canes. So
Oh
suck it
yeah,
up.
yeah. He did buy my raising cane. Um, and they gave me 4 tenders in my 3-piece meals.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
it's quite a steal. But
That's the highlight of the day.
yeah, yeah, best part of the day for sure. But no, it was a good show. I mean, we saw. Were they saying it was 5 years ago that
It was
the
5 years
last
ago.
show was? God damn, I didn't realize
Mhm.
it had been that long since we saw them.
2018. Yeah.
Um, oh yeah, I guess it would have been 20. God, that's okay.
We're getting
Time
the fucking on.
time is escaping. But yeah, they said it had been 5 years since they had last been there, and we did see them the last time they were in Chicago. But Mr. Connor Mason, the front man, angelic voice, probably my favorite like vocalist who is still active today, I would say.
Yeah.
Um, that man, so good. But anyways, I love the rest of the band as well, but his voice is a main draw for it, and he was a little sick last time, and he was like, "I'm sorry, Chicago, you know,
I'm
um,
sorry, Chicago.
yeah." um, so he needed help with some stuff. He couldn't quite sing his high notes in his big belting voice, or his soft falsettos. They were kind of couldn't really do them as much last time. It was still a great show, but was a little like, oh man, wish I could have seen that. And then they were supposed to come last year, um, and Connor once again needed surgery for something. Uh,
Oh,
boo.
it
And
was fucking vocal cords or whatever, his throat.
yeah, yeah, and I think at our first show that we went to, he said that he was sick the last time he was in Chicago too. So I don't
Yeah.
know I don't know what they have against us, but everything went perfectly last Saturday. Everyone was in working condition. Um,
Other than that one guy
what one guy?
that passed out.
Oh yeah, yeah. Someone did pass out in the crowd between the opener and the Nothing But Thieves. But I guess if you were to pass out, it's best to do it during that time rather than during the show. Uh,
Yeah.
I mean, not much you can do to control it, but it's more safe for you, I'm guessing.
No, for sure.
But it was a pretty good show. The opener was pretty cool. Um,
Yeah.
and they
Kid.
had Kid Capici, right?
Yep.
Kid Capici. They were very, very British. But
Yes.
they had a fun energy to them.
Uh-huh.
We kind of got to talk with some of the band members after the show because we were getting merch. Yep.
Yep. They
Um,
were selling their own merch next to the Nothing But Thieves
yeah,
merch table.
they were. They still had the
They
same
were,
energy going.
oh yeah, they were singing along to songs, but it was all the lyrics were buy our shirts.
Pretty much. And he was, I think it was their bassist. He was doing, oh, we're thinking of coming back in May. I was like,
Yeah, he's like, you better come see us.
I was
Yeah.
like, maybe. Um,
I wouldn't mind. I'll have to look more into their music,
yeah,
but
but
yeah, they were fun.
yeah, they were a fun group. And then Nothing But Thieves. Their set list was so good. Honestly, probably
Stellar.
there very few things I would have altered in there. Just very good songs all around. Great variety.
Mhm.
Um, just a lot of fun. But yeah, we did that, and I didn't crash my car. Um,
Let's
got
fucking
yeah. You know what? I think that actually deserves a. There we go.
go.
Didn't crash my car. Woo. But we did that. Yeah, it was pretty fun. Uh, then did some other stuff. I've been working on a little band arrangement of a Radiohead song for a while now, and I've actually been working on a couple Radiohead songs. But one of them I finally got to a finished position this week. It's their song "Just," and I arranged it for concert band and uploaded it on my little scores channel. Um,
Uh,
yeah, and I'm pretty proud of how it came out. My friend Vanessa said it almost kind of sounds like a big pep band tune. It's like a pep band, but if it was a full band, it's like yeah, it's pretty accurate. Um,
uh,
but I really like some of the parts in there. Well, a lot of the parts. And it's kind of nice to have that done. Pretty happy with that. Um, and then what else have I done this week? Kind of same old for me. But trying to keep it going and all that. I've been working on a song that I'm I've been working on songs on and off. A lot of ideas coming and going, but there's one I'm working on currently that I'm actually like really excited about. It might spark some delayed reaction. It might spark some future, influences to get things out. I don't know. I just thank you. Thank the pre-claps. What it's gonna be the worst song you've ever heard. Um, but I think when it comes to my songs, usually there's like a part or two in it, like whether it be the chorus or the verses or like the bridge or something that I'm like super excited about, and then the rest of the song I'm like, okay, yeah, this works well in tandem to get to that point or something. And this is, I think, one of the first things I've written, besides maybe like November or something, where like I just really love every section of it, really love every piece of it. I think it's gonna be pretty cool if it comes together in the way I'm imagining it in my head. Um,
Let's
but
fucking go.
yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. But been kind of working on that, workshopping that on and off this week. Um, yeah, I don't know, just kind of been chillaxing, doing all that stuff. I listened to the Paramore stuff, obviously. Oh shit, I forgot I was gonna listen to that again too. Whatever. But I listened to an album called Soft Scars by Yule. It was another like highly rated one on album of the year. I just wanted to check it out, and I definitely want to return to it. It's got like that glitch poppy stuff that I really like. Another female vocalist. It's the week of, or not the week. It's the month of women. It's kind of the year of women, really.
It is. It
I
is.
think we might need to have a just a women section of our brokies. I mean,
Yeah.
women.
Women's Month ends tomorrow, though, so.
That's true. Yeah, then we gotta
Yeah.
stop caring about the women. But but
You said it. You said it, not me.
hey, when does this episode come out?
Monday.
Comes out the second. Yeah, fuck. No. No, just kidding, just kidding. A lot of good lady acts this year.
Yes.
But yeah, that's Soft Scars album by Yule. That was pretty good. I'm definitely gonna check it out more to do more with it, but there's a few other things I revisited today to just make sure I had some solidified thoughts for them. But
Right.
yeah, I have music news stuff as well. But before I do that, what about you, Colin? What you been up to?
Uh, you know, school, work,
Mm-hmm.
the usual.
The usual.
Um, I been playing. I started playing Baldur's Gate with my siblings this week,
Is that I didn't
and
realize that was multiplayer.
yeah, it's multiplayer.
Huh.
It's actually really fun being multiplayer. We were, I chronicled my time with those three big bosses in the last couple of weeks.
Uh-huh.
And those took me forever alone. Um, but with them, it was like we got them done in like a couple hours,
Oh.
and it was like, damn, dude. But
Friendship
one of
really
them,
does win.
yeah, my
Yeah.
my my character for that playthrough was she's a bard tiefling, so she's like a devil girl, but she
Ooh.
sings and shit. Um, but yeah, we were fighting the drow in that one base, and I got fucking hit with like, I don't know, 70 hit points worth of damage, and
Mm-hmm.
like burst into flames and died right away.
Oh.
Um, so I had to be revived afterwards. But like Noah got downed, and then Josh got downed. So the only person that was left was like our our character that was like pre-made and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I was playing her, and the boss was standing on a bridge with another goblin,
Mm-hmm.
and the bridge was destructible. So I hit the bridge, and they fell into the hole and died. so
Uh-huh.
I so that took care of them, and it was just like that was really funny. And we got kind of loud, and my dad was trying to go to sleep, so he had to yell at Josh.
Just one of you?
Yeah, I mean, because Noah's with my mom this week, and then I'm here. So
Oh, okay, gotcha.
yeah, divorced parents problems.
Woo!
But yeah, it's been fun. I what else did I do? A lot of schoolwork this week. Lots and lots. I have a paper that's is technically due tonight, but I'm
Oh,
not gonna finish it. I'll send it in before Monday class because that's usually how things go.
Okay.
And it was also kind of like a surprise paper
Oh,
because
so like
like
that one from like a few weeks ago.
yeah.
Yeah.
But we had an assignment this week, and then at the bottom of the assignment, it was like read this and then write a 3 to 5 page paper.
Oh
It
my
wasn't
god.
put in. Yeah, it wasn't put in its own assignment or anything. He didn't talk about it, and then it was just like, here you go. This is what you're doing. It was like, bitch.
You didn't read the fine print for the 3 to 5 page paper.
Yeah,
That's so
but
stupid.
yeah, kind of an asshole. But yeah, it was fun. And then I had like an analysis thing due for my other Civil War class, and the first one, it was in this one book. We had to like analyze a primary source in history or whatever. I was like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
not too hard. It's like a page, two max. And I was like, all right. So I read it, I wrote it, and I almost finished it. I was like maybe like a couple sentences away. And then he sends an email out and he's like, remember, guys, for the analysis, we're using this book and these chapters. And it was not the book I was using,
Oh, I'm guessing not
and
the
they were
chapters either.
and not the chapters. Um, so I had to rewrite that whole thing.
Damn.
um, and I wanted to fucking shoot myself. But here we are. I did not do that. Um, again, kind of fuck. I would love if a teacher of mine would either write more detailed assignment notes or talk about it in more detail in class. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, but then I have another paper due on the 5th for my Chinese civilization class. I have to interview a teacher by Wednesday, and I need to get on asking somebody to do that.
Mm-hmm.
um, it's just a lot, and
Yeah.
I'm very for it being only like almost for it being only just about October. I've never felt this burnt out in like towards the beginning of a semester before.
Oof.
It's real rough, but whatever.
Yeah.
I I didn't listen to anything new other than the Paramore stuff this week. Um, the Riz God returned. Um,
Huh?
I had a
Oh,
couple
oh,
more.
right. Yes, you. That's you. What, what,
Yes.
what you, what that Riz do?
Well, let me tell you, buddy. No, yesterday I was working, and a bunch of girls were coming in wearing like cowboy boots and like Western
Mm.
clothing. So I think around here there's a lot of like hoedown kind of things.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
I've heard of them.
so I was like, oh, okay, that must have happened at night. Um, but I was out in the lobby and I was bringing people food and everything, and I brought food to this one table, and they ordered from me, and they were like, thanks, Colin, because they read my name tag.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I was like, you're welcome, whatever, whatever. And I walked, I brought their food to the table, and they're like, thanks, Colin, thank you so much, Colin. I'm like, you're welcome, and I'm walking away, and one of them goes, I love you, Colin, and I'm like, thanks. But
Riz God.
yeah, they were walking out. They were walking out, and they're like, "Good night, Colin. Have a good night, Colin. Thank you, Colin." And then the girl again went, "Love you, Colin," and I went, "Love you too."
Hmm.
And her friend was like, "Oh, you just made her night." And
Wow.
then, yeah, and then like on their way out, I heard, "No, he's such a cutie."
Oh.
So
Hmm. Dude, love really does
really,
happen at that McDonald's. Jesus.
yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Um,
Love
and then
and Mickey D's.
yeah, and then the girl I was flirting with a couple weeks ago. We were
Hmm.
working together again today. And we flirted a little bit again.
Hmm. Did you ask for your
And
hug? Or ask where your hug was?
I forgot. Um, where's my hug? Um, no, but yeah, it's fun. Yeah, so
Nice.
that persona came back.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, other than a stressful day, a stressful week with work, and they're not work with schoolwork. some Baldur's Gate. Haven't done a
Mm-hmm.
whole lot. Just been you know struggling. But yeah,
Relatable. Yep.
yeah. But yeah, about it.
Yeah.
Music news. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of, lot of, lot of kind of interesting stuff.
Yeah, I have a
Got
couple.
Boy, yeah, it's probably one of yours, but Boy Genius is releasing an EP.
Oh, that's
Uh,
not one of mine. I did not hear about that.
oh, yeah, Boy Genius is releasing an EP called The Rest on October 13th, which
Oh,
is
couple
Friday.
weeks.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I think it's like 3 or 4 songs, but um, yeah, got some new Boy Genius coming.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this is also like a weird coincidence with the artist analysis being Paramore. There was like a lot of Paramore stuff this week.
Oh, was there?
Yeah, there was like there was like they teased something on Twitter.
Okay.
Um, that was like I think it might be just remixes or whatever, but like they were like they were just rearranging the title of "This Is Why." They did like "Is This Why?" "Why
Mm.
Is This?" Stuff like that. I've heard
Mm.
it's just remixes and stuff, but I heard Julian Baker might be on one of them.
Ooh.
So that's cool. It was also I think yesterday was like the 1 year anniversary of "This Is Why" coming out, the single,
Oh, I was gonna say, wait, that came out this year. Okay, yeah, yeah,
and then also today was like the 14-year anniversary of "Brand New Eyes."
yeah. Hmm. Wow,
So
we're really hitting a nice pocket here.
yeah, it's really weird.
Seems like we're
Um,
capitalizing.
it does. But what do you got? I have a couple more, but what do you got? Because
Well, you talk about, your silly artists like Boy Genius and Paramore. Um, Meanwhile, what I have is AJR released a song today, uh, called "Yes, I'm a Mess." Um, did you listen to this at all?
no,
I, yeah, I expect you did listen. um, well,
I planned on it, but I had work, so
Yeah. Well, I can say that the other singles had me, like excited for a new direction for AJR, just like, oh, maybe they'll be mid instead of bad.
and you
Um,
hate
I hate what?
and you hated this one, didn't you?
I didn't hate it, but it's definitely it's the AJR quality you expect.
Oh,
uh,
return to form, if you
yeah,
will.
return to form, if you will. Yes. But yeah, I mean, it's got like a snap beat with like a like that,
Uh,
and some nice auto tune. Did it come through?
no, not really. It was
Uh,
like
yeah, like that. And had some nice auto tune pop whistling in there. Some kind of sea shanty ish vibes, but not really. Um,
oh,
I don't know. I think the chorus is kind of catchy, and I do like how the chords are and stuff in it because I'm a fucking nerd. But like, it's back to the AJR lyrics, back to the AJR sound. They're still here, baby. Um, and once again, not pertaining to any of your silly artists, Dream did a live show. Um,
Dweeb.
did you see any live clips of him performing?
Uh, yeah, I saw that he has awful stage presence.
Yeah, man's got no stage charisma or anything.
Yeah,
Um,
and he's
yeah,
the fucking Crimson Chin or whatever. Because
yeah. Whatever happened to him hiding his face again?
I don't fucking. That was just clickbait.
Oh, I knew it was at the time, but like I didn't expect him to back out of it so quickly. Um, but yeah, I mean, I saw clips of that. He did a cover of "One Day" by Lovejoy.
Yes,
The other Dream SMP member. And
the only other one.
if you've ever doubted Wilbur Soot on vocals, I think Dream will make you appreciate him.
Why'd you have to kill my cat?
It was just like it was quite literally just frat boy doing karaoke. Well, maybe not frat boy, but like someone who you know what I mean. It's Dream
Yeah, I
doing
know.
karaoke.
Dream being a frat boy is a funny name.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah, absolutely no energy, no charisma. Whew. Um, important music news. What else do you got?
I don't know how, but they found me news.
hmm
Uh, the single coming out next Friday, um, and the album coming out at some point. I think people found it on Apple Music or whatever it's called. The single, I don't remember the title of it, but the album's called Gloom Division.
Oh, how did they
Um,
find it?
I mean, with like with stuff on Apple Music, you can kind of just search.
You're supposed to say I don't know.
Oh, I don't know.
Ah, there we go.
Um, but yeah, uh, no,
I'm sorry. Did I ruin your train of thought?
no. I'm looking to see.
Oh, okay. I thought I
It's
just like depressed you or something.
no, the song's called Simple. Um,
Uh,
it's coming out next Friday, so that'll be fun. Um, yeah,
I'm
and then
surprised he's keeping the name. I mean,
I'm not. I don't know.
he's just been through a lot of groups and stuff. So
Yeah, I mean, at least he's not shortening it to just Panic or.
yeah,
And I don't know how, but they found me. It makes more sense now that it's just one person.
true. Um, but also, actually, I do kind of take that back because they were actually very open about the fact that the songs were all written, like basically completely by Dallin, and then
Yeah.
Ryan just he did some drumming. Um,
Yes, sure did.
yeah,
But he
he
will not
worked
be
it.
missed.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, I'm very excited for it. I'm,
yeah,
I'm
me too.
excited to see what Dallin's got up his sleeve. Um, that's all I got for music. Oh wait, on top of the Boy Genius, Hosier performed "Salt and Wound" with them
Oh,
in their concerts. And goddamn, man,
I'm gonna have to look that up because that might be my favorite song by them.
yeah, the lesbians really be winning.
Yeah, it's Hosier a lesbian too.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think he just attracts lesbians.
gotcha.
Or just the LGBTQ
Yeah.
community. But um, damn, that I think it would have evaporated if I was there. But
Mm.
yeah, that was cool to see. In other news, the fucking writers' strike is up. It's ended. The WGA got their deal.
Ooh.
Um, they're not. They're AI is not taking their job anymore. They're getting residuals from streaming. Um,
Hell yeah.
Good shit.
Love to hear it.
Everybody's returning. Yeah, everyone's returning to the writers' room. The Stranger Things writers were like, "We're back, baby." Um,
Hell yeah.
so I'm excited to see. But SAG-AFTRA is still on strike, so the actors are still going. But yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Fuck them. Um,
Yeah, fuck those actors.
but I am excited to see what comes of the striking and how it revitalizes uh, you know Hollywood, I guess.
Yeah.
I assume now that the writers got their deal that the actors won't be very far behind because
hmm
you know can't have one without the other really.
Right.
Uh,
Even
but
more so
yeah,
with the actors.
yeah. Um, unless writers want to start being actors now. Um,
Uh, maybe.
but all the fucking late night hosts were like, "We're back, yeah!" Um,
So glad Jimmy Fallon's back.
Me too, man. I don't think I could have lived much longer without
Without my Jimmy.
his without one of my Jimmies.
Yeah. They were really wrestling my Jimmys with this writer's strike.
Hit that shit.
Hell yeah.
Uh, or sorry, I probably This probably would
I was expecting that one, yeah.
have been.
But
um, but yeah, that was cool to see. Um, uh,
I have a
you want?
I have a
Oh,
couple non-music related news. Um,
oh, you're pregnant.
huh?
You're pregnant.
Uh, weren't supposed to know that yet, but yeah. Um,
Do you know? Do you know the gender yet or the sex?
oh,
Sorry,
okay. You're assuming the gender before it.
I meant sex.
You always mean. um, all right.
I've
Um,
caught
yeah. But less, you know, joyous things. Um, the other Dumbledore is gone.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, Mr. Michael Gambon, who played Dumbledore in Harry Potter's 3 through 8, um, passed away. Another one from the HP crew.
Yeah, first Hagrid. Oh
Hmm
well, first and then Hagrid.
I mean, a lot of them have passed. Like
That's true.
Draco's mom does.
Yeah.
Harry's uncle, Uncle Vernon, he passed a while
Oh
ago.
yeah.
The original Dumbledore. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, that one's pretty sad. That one
Yeah.
hits. Um,
All the millennials were
yeah,
crying eyes out,
we're on the cusp of
pointing,
it. So
yeah, pointing their flashlights at the sky.
yeah, pointing their wands at the sky.
Yeah, that's
But
good.
yeah, that and then this isn't really like big news, but something I forgot to mention that I think is kind of cool. Randomly yesterday, I mean, we're still like into GeoGuessr, like me and my friends and stuff. Yesterday, Google just dropped all of Panama out of nowhere. It's like, all right, now Panama's part of
What?
the game. We can see Panama.
Panama,
It's crazy,
Panama,
dude. Panama City,
Panama,
beautiful. It's huge. Um,
Panama.
I don't know what song you're singing.
It's Panama, Panama by Def Leppard.
I could have guessed the name of it, I guess. um, but
That's
that's
all the lyrics, by the way.
oh, you had it memorized.
Yeah,
Nice. It's pretty
kind of
good.
easy when it's the same word over and over again
I
for
mean,
2 minutes.
yeah, for now.
You can get away with anything in the 80s.
Yeah. Um, but quite literally anything for some of those rockers. But yeah, all of Panama out of nowhere, and then also Qatar. Qatar was just the big city, but now all of Qatar is there. We get a lot of desert. It's
Well, why
awesome.
don't you play some tune then?
But man, we're just we're full of it today. There you go.
Full of shit. Um, uh, what's the deal with airline food? Uh,
Uh,
that's what it sounds like when it hits the toilet.
wow, nice.
I was waiting for another one. That's all right. Uh,
um, keep you in suspense. Um, all right. Well,
it could happen at any time.
we could probably hop into our little Paramore here. There's
Well, do you
more.
want to do a roundup first, or do
Oh
you
my
want to do?
God, yeah, that's right. Uh, gonna be a
I only
long
have four.
episode.
So.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll go first then, because I have a few. Um, so first thing I listened to in the month of September was Liana La Havas, her self-titled album. It's like an R&B pop soul type thing. Very pretty album. I revisited it again today, and I really liked it even more the second time. Just she has smooth vocals all throughout. Instrumentals super smooth. She covers Radiohead on it, so instant 10 out of 10. But it is a really nice album, and it's probably one I'm going to keep revisiting, just because it got some nice vibes to it. Pretty nice. And I think I have it at like a decent 8. Very good rank. I'll give some favorites.
Okay.
Um, my favorite songs on there are "Bittersweet," Sour Flower, Weird Fishes, obviously Radiohead, and I was really liking Read My Mind this last time as well. So yeah.
Cool. First thing I listened to was Guts.
Ooh.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we had a whole episode on it. I haven't returned to it really since it came out, but it's fun. Not as good as Sour in my opinion, but it's got its moments. As we said in the episode, would love some new content or like some new con storytelling or whatever behind the songs other than my ex.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know. Um, but it's a fun little time. Uh, I like a lot of the production on it. Um, but yeah, my favorites on that one. Lacey, Vampire, uh, Logical, Love is Embarrassing, and then I did not like uh, Get Him Back or Ballad of a Homeschool Girl. Um, I'd probably give it like a don't I
What'd you say?
like a light.
Oh, sorry.
I give it like a light 7 to a strong 6.
All right.
Yeah,
Um. Uh. Next thing I have something we should have done a whole episode on. Dreams to whoever wants to hear.
yeah.
By Dream. Uh. Yeah. Not a good album. I can say that.
What?
I know.
No.
I kind of the first song was all right. The next six were not. Uh, and, uh, not very good. I gave it a decent 2. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. Wow. Uh, I listened to very little new stuff this month,
You're
but
literally going through a busy school year right now. Don't feel bad about
this
that.
is true. The next thing I listened to was this land is inhospitable, and so are we by Mitski. I haven't listened to it again since last week, but I still really really enjoy it. I love her voice. I love the vibe of the album. The production's really good. I love the folky kind of westerny nature that it has. Um, yeah, it's really good. I'm definitely gonna return to it again because the ladies are popping off this year.
Absolutely.
But my favorites on there were Heaven, Buffalo Replaced, My Love, Mine, All Mine, uh, Star, and I Don't Like My Mind. And I'd probably give it like a decent 8.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Next thing I listened to was Olivia Rodrigo's Guts. Again, we have a whole episode on this going through each track. Um, I still feel pretty much the same about it as well. It's not the stuff that I loved as much from her debut. It's more the emphasis of the punk rock type things, which is fine. I mean, she does it well and she's exploring new things, but it's not really the type of stuff that excites me personally. But there's still some really good stuff on here. I love Ballad of the Homeschool Girl. I think that's a great track. Teenage Dream. I'm gonna boo you. Teenage Dream
Don't fucking dare.
is another highlight, along with Lacey and Vampire. Um, and my least favorites are Get 'Em Back, Logical, and Bad Idea Right. Not really huge on those. Yeah, and I still have it at like a strong 6. Feels right to me.
Damn it, Mike.
Hmm.
I'm missing the fucking Flo Rida and Ludacris concert right now.
Excuse me.
Down, down here, there's a Flo Rida and Ludacris
Oh,
uh,
like on
concert going.
campus?
I think so,
Damn.
or around here.
Wow.
Um, yeah, I had the fucking flashback to 2008 or whatever.
Damn. We had some. Probably would have recognized one song or something.
Yeah. I gotta look at Flo Rida. What? Um,
I honestly whistle's the only thing coming to my head,
yeah,
which is
whistle.
yeah. The whistling in that song is actually pretty similar to the whistling in that AJR track that came out. So
Yeah. Oh, is that
yeah.
one about a blowjob too? Or?
I don't think so. I mean, it's called Yes, I'm a Mess, so like maybe it's post blowjob, but I don't.
Wild one was Sia.
Oh
I
yeah.
kind of um yeah. Wow. He
Um,
still has 27.9 million monthly listeners. So
wow. Good for
over
him.
over under 100.
Under. Wait, I mean over. I meant over. I meant over.
Yeah,
Probably not.
100.
Yeah.
Huh? You want to double or nothing it, or
I mean, you were about to say the number, so just go for it.
it's 151st in the world?
That's actually insane.
Yeah, I
Who
know.
the hell is streaming Flowrida?
Oh,
Whatever.
what's Ludacris like? Ludacris only has 6.5 million. The hell?
Whatever.
Okay. Anyway, what's the next thing you listen to?
No, I just talked about what I listened to.
Oh, well, the next things I listened to were both Paramore albums, so I can't
Okay,
talk about that.
gotcha. Is that the last thing you said, right?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, cool. All right. Next thing I listened to, Punk Tactics by Joey Valence and Bray. I still agree with my little hook, line, and sinker at the beginning of my review. Beastie Boys, if they are chronically online. It's got some fun stuff on it. But it's also very samey throughout. Production's kind of cool at points, but it's also very samey throughout. Uh, yeah, I mean, I could see them having some really cool things in the future because it's like a modern day Beastie Boys, and they have some interesting stuff going on. But you know, it's a little corny right now. It's all
Oh,
right. It's all right though. It's good for a fun listen. They got good energy throughout it, so I give it like a strong 6.
all right.
Um, Next thing I listened to was Bewitched by Leve. And man, the women. I'm telling you, man, they were popping off. I still absolutely love this album. There's been some interesting discourse online about like its validity as jazz.
Mhm.
um, Fantano gave it like a 5 or whatever because he was viewing it through the eyes of jazz and other things in this style. And that was one of his main things that just doesn't hold up to it. And then there's another big music creator called Adam Neely who did a whole like 30-minute deep dive on if she should really be considered jazz in like the most respectful way possible.
Man, this shit does not live up to Duke Ellington or Ella Fitzgerald. This shit
I
sucks.
know. I know. It's crazy. That was actually pretty much what Fantano's gripes were. But you know what? I don't know any of those old geezers, so I really like this one. But no, I've been exposed to like jazz stuff throughout my studies. And like I'm not even as much into it for the sound. I mean, yeah, it's produced really well for me, and I love her vocals throughout as well. It's just really enchanting. Sounds like she's in love. Sounds like she's heartbroken. I believe every word she's singing. Really
Oh,
good performances throughout. Just really nice sounding songs and well written songs. Um, I've been really loving it, and it's my album of the year currently. Um,
wow.
but yeah, my favorites on here are Dreamer, Second Best, While You Were Sleeping, Lovesick, Promise, and I'll throw Bewitched in there too. Um, it's a very nice album. I'm really loving it. I have it at like a light 9 right now. Really good one. Um, Next
Something
thing,
finally broke that date.
well, yeah, something did finally break the eights. I mean, I gave that Maruja EP, like the post rock thing. Uh,
Um,
I mean, that was an EP. I also gave that a 90. But you know what? First album to break it. So good
hmm.
job, Leve. Um, Next thing I listened to, The Land is Inhospitable, and So Are We. I gave this one another listen today, a little bit closer this time, with more of the mindsets of, like you were saying last week, folk and stuff. Um,
Mhm.
and yeah, I mean, it's nice. I still think it's very pretty. I have more of an appreciation for it. I think Mitski does well over. I think the instrumentals are written really well. Some cool production things here and there that like kind of just go like, whoa, that's not folk anymore. There's some cool stuff happening. But I'm still not like as in love with it as a lot of people are. But I do think it's
Mm.
pretty good. So I have it as like a decent 7 right now. Um, I'm not as familiar with it that I should be to be able to name songs off, so I will not. Um, and then
Ooh,
sorry.
ooh.
Then I listened to that Soft Scars album by Yule, but like I said, didn't really get a close listen to it, and I wanted to listen to it again. So it was good. I liked it, but I don't have any specific thoughts on that one either. And the last thing I listened to was the Paramore discography, and I have a lot of specific thoughts on that. So maybe we should
Let's
get
just
into
hop
that.
on into
Yeah,
um,
that's what I'm
an
saying.
hour or whatever.
Um,
Uh,
we are 45.
ooh, ooh, ooh.
um, real quick though, before we hop
Oh
on
my god.
into Paramore, I think it's important we give a little context as to our exposure to Paramore prior to this listening.
Uh,
Um, so what's your relationship with Paramore?
um, well, over the years, I've heard a lot of Paramore's played in the house, in the car, by my older brother, by my mom. So, Riot era, Brand New Eyes era. So, I had an appreciation for them a long time ago, but, I didn't actually start listening to them until I think I listened to Brand New Eyes in like freshman year, um, all the way through. But yeah, up until This Is Why dropped the single last year. Um, I didn't have like a super deep connection to them, but since that dropped, I really fell in love with them, and I've talked about it over the months since This Is Why the album dropped, that I've listened to a vast majority of their discography. I only missed out on their first album and their self-titled album.
Mhm.
Um, and then I've also delved into Haley Williams's um, solo discography as well. So
Yeah,
yeah, I have a pretty strong connection to P More.
nice. Yeah, and for me, Paramore's kind of like one that's slightly escaped me throughout the years. Like they've always been adjacent to my 21 Pilots and my Panic at the Discos and stuff. Always been in that same crowd, but I just never really gave them a fair chance. I guess would be the way to put it. I liked Hard Times a lot when it came out in like 2016, 2017, something like that. Or when did the album come out? I have it in my
2017.
notes. 2017. So I think yeah, that was the right time frame. Um, I really liked that when it came out, and I'm super familiar with that song. Um, and I did listen to that album like once, I think, way back when. And it didn't really, I don't know, it didn't strike me enough to come back to it at the time. But once again, like I said, my music taste didn't start getting good until 2018. So you have to forgive me. But uh, yeah, and then when you started getting super into This Is Why, the song last year, um, I think pretty sure you had it as your song of the week when that came out. Really enjoyed that. Then when the album came out earlier this year, I was super intrigued by it and really impressed with the things going on there. And I've just been seeing, a lot of love for their older stuff and just Haley Williams as a vocalist getting all that love and everything too. And I'm just like, okay, uh, I'm definitely gonna have to check this out at some point. And the wheel gave me a chance to make that now.
Thank
Um,
you, Almighty Wheel.
thank you, Almighty Wheel. Yes, everyone, please say a quick prayer to the wheel.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Um, all right. You want to start us off here, Colin?
Sure, I can start with
Cool.
All We Know Is Falling in 2005.
2006. Oh wait, just kidding. I'm so sorry.
You dumb motherfucker.
I read it wrong from a distance.
With one of the weirdest album arts I can think of.
Hmm.
Um, I love that red couch in the middle of the forest with a shadow of a person over it. Um,
And low quality.
yes. But yeah, this is about what I expected from Paramore's debut, but I'm still pretty impressed. The instrumentals are pretty well done, with some cool guitar work in there, and of course Haley sounds great. The vibe on this album is good as well. Super punchy and angsty, which makes sense because they were like fucking 16 years old when this came out. Um,
Yeah, I didn't realize they
the
were that young.
Yeah, yeah, they were because they're only like fucking 30 something now. So
Wow, I honestly thought she was like in her 40s.
nah. um, uh, but yeah, that also just makes this album more impressive to me. Not every song is an absolute hit, but I don't dislike any of them. Like really, it's a pretty solid debut. Um, I don't remember a whole ton of it, but I know that it's very very 2005 pop punk. Haley, even for this being their first album and for them being goddamn teenagers, they sound pretty well put together and all sound pretty good. Um, but my favorites were All We Know, Brighter, Emergency, Never Let This Go, Here We Go Again, and then my least favorites were Whoa and My Heart. My Heart's the closer, I believe. Yeah. Um, I didn't hate it, but the screamy kind of stuff kind of caught me off guard
Yeah, it was.
because none of
I
the
remember that now. Yeah.
yeah, because none of the rest of the album had any of that anywhere. So like I was standing in line at Chipotle, and then I just go from Haley's voice to fucking. It's
That
like
none of that came through. It's okay.
just imagine emo screaming.
Just imagine
Um,
Colin screaming his guts out in his apartment at 10 p.m. on Saturday, Friday.
yeah, Friday. Yeah, I like it a good amount. Give it like a light to decent 7.
Cool. All
Yeah.
right. Yeah. All we know is falling from 2005.
6.
um. I said I was slightly nervous going into this, since I know early Paramore has some pop punk vibes, and we all know how my opinions on pop punk have been over the years. Um, but one thing that sets this apart from other acts we've listened to from this time period, except for maybe like MCR, and that one thing is that Hayley Williams isn't annoying. um, I was actually super impressed by how mature and refined her vocals feel on this first project, and she
Mhm.
was like the highlight of the listen for me. Um, but honestly, I kind of dug the instrumentation a lot of the time too. Like there was some cool stuff happening. To me, it felt more like pop rock than pop punk. Maybe I'm just
Mhm.
crazy for that. But like I didn't get like a super pop punk vibe on most of the stuff here. And that's a good thing for my tastes. I liked how the sections would vary throughout and how they would play with a lot of the tone changes. And while there are like clear pop formulas going on here, they didn't feel super cookie cutter, and there were a lot of like pleasant switch ups that complemented Haley's vocals. And like I don't know, I think back to like when we did Fallout Boy. That was something they didn't get until like a few albums in, where
Yeah.
they started like messing with the formula a little bit, and it's like, oh, that's kind of cool. They were just doing it out the gate here, which is really neat, really neat. um I said the weakest part of the record mostly has to do with the production. It's just like really subdued for a lot of it. I wish it felt punchier and fuller, but knowing that they were 16 when this was made kind of makes a little more sense with that, how
Yeah.
it feels like self-produced or something. um, but yeah, I said I don't really blame them too much for that since it was a debut, and also because they're 16. But yeah, there's a few songs on here that are a little bit more generic and forgettable, but nothing on here was bad for me. I think for what it is, it's a really solid first step, and I can see the potential for what's to come after this. My favorites on here were Never Let This Go, Emergency, and Conspiracy. My least favorites were Brighter, Here We Go Again, Franklin, and My Heart. And overall, I gave it a light 7.
Cool.
Ooh.
Glad to hear you like that
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to like it either.
one.
But well, I shouldn't say I wasn't expecting to. You know what I mean. Um, all right. Next album, we got Riot from 2007. I said, "Uh oh." Here comes controversial Mike.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, this album is good. I don't love it as much as I think a lot of the fans do. I think I mostly knew that from you, that you like this album a lot.
Yeah.
But this
Careful
rec
what you say, man.
well, I mean, we'll see. Um,
I'll kill you.
I know. Um, uh, but yeah, so I don't think I love it as much as a lot of the fans do. But this record also plays more into that pop punk sound that doesn't really do too much for me. But as with their first album, Haley Williams isn't annoying, so I don't mind it too much. But I would probably not return to this by myself, aside from a few tracks. It's not
Oh.
it's not a
Oh.
quality it's not a quality thing. It's just my personal enjoyment.
Oh. Oh, that bitch. Everybody
uh,
boo that bitch
no,
for his opinion. Um,
I enjoy the vocals as much as the first, and the production is a lot more full. But the instrumentals are just not as interesting to me on this one, aside from what you get, because that has some like really cool groove changes happening. Like, if I remember correctly, there's like time signature stuff happening. You know, my little brain was lighting up to that. And I said, plus there's Misery Business, which is definitely the best song yet. Um, there's a reason that song.
controversial. Hey.
Yeah. Uh, I said there's a reason that song was huge. But overall, this was pretty good, pretty good. Um, and my favorites were Misery Business, Crush, Crush, Crush. That's what you get. Fences and Born for This. My least favorites were When It Rains, Miracle, and We Are Broken. And overall, I gave it a light 7 as well. I thought it was fine.
Move over.
I'm moving over.
Move. All right. We got Riot, 2007. Now, this is the Paramore that I know and love. The energy is still around from their first record, but everything is so much more polished and soulful with the improved production this time around. The instrumentals are so much better and much more interesting this as well, to me at least. The songwriting is fantastic in my opinion, and Haley sounds even better this time. Um, Feels like hit after hit with this album, but obviously you got to talk about Misery Business. It's an absolutely iconic track, and it's I still find it crazy and pretty fucking ridiculous. Like I kind of like semi canceled for it.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of nostalgia for this project, but I really, even through the nostalgia goggles, it's really fantastic in my opinion, and it's an album that I can go back to um, over and over again without getting bored of it. Yeah, it's just I love I'm a fan of pop punk, unlike somebody on this podcast. Um, and Yeah, it's a good time. I do quite enjoy Riot. It's quite the riot. Um, but my favorites were Misery Business, Hallelujah, Crush Crush Crush. Uh, for a pessimist, I'm pretty optimistic. That's what you get, and When It Rains. And I don't have any least favorites. And I give it a light 9.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Uh,
What's up?
Also, when I was writing out my favorites, I ran out of room, so I started acronymizing the titles.
Mm,
And for a pessimist, I'm pretty optimistic. I looked down and it says FAP, and I was like, what?
nice.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I love Riot.
yeah.
Uh, Fuck you, Mike. But anyway, uh, yeah. Next we got Brand New Eyes in 2009. This is more of that banger energy from Riot. Uh, this was the first Paramore album I listened to, so I have a lot of nostalgia for it. But I don't think there's anything that could really make their music in general not stand the test of time for me. Haley's voice just keeps aging like fine wine throughout these records. And I love that we see songs like The Only Exception and especially All I Wanted to really, accentuate her ability in singing. The fucking the way that she sings on All I Wanted is God, it's so fucking good.
Yeah.
And the fact that I don't think until the tour for This Is Why they ever performed that one live.
Oh,
Because she
really?
was like, yeah, she was like scared to do it because she didn't know if she could actually hit those notes live. Um, but yeah, they did it during this tour, and like the videos from it. Oh my god, she sounds so good. Um, yeah, I said I can see how some people might feel like some of the instrumentals could be getting a little old and a little repetitive, maybe with the pop punk nature. But I love the energy of it, and it's just more of that good, and I just keep eating it up. It's very yummy to me. But yeah, I love this record as well. Um, my favorites were All I Wanted, The Only Exception, Brick by Boring Brick, Ignorance, Playing God, Careful, and Misguided Ghosts. And I didn't have any least favorites again, and I gave this one a strong 8.
All right.
Yes,
Cool.
sir.
Brand New Eyes, 2009. Um, I said, okay, this was a nice step up for me. Not only have Haley's vocals gotten even better, which I was not expecting them to get even better, um, but the songs themselves have also just like skyrocketed in quality for me. Uh,
Mm.
excuse me, sorry. I love how varied these tracks are and how dynamic the project gets from the soft sections to the loud sections. Um, they play with her vocals a lot in that, from what I remember, and it was really nice. It's a wonderful mix of sounds that surpass a lot of the pop punk we've heard on these artist analyses. It feels like pop punk, but to it like a greater form, kind of like in some ways like the Black Parade does as well.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I wouldn't say every song is amazing, but there are quite a few on here that stuck out in the best ways possible. The album is also paced beautifully, and I think it's no coincidence that my favorites are the opener, the midpoint, and the closer. Um,
Yeah.
it's paced really, really well.
Yeah.
Although the weaker tracks, quote unquote, do appear in the back half for me. Um, so like that is a slight thing for me, but as a whole, it was still a very entertaining album, and it's the first one that I'm likely to return to after this episode.
Oh,
Um, my favorites were All I Wanted, Careful, The Only Exception, Turn It Off, and Brick by Boring Brick. My least favorites were Feeling Sorry and Looking Up. Once again, I thought those were good songs. They just didn't really impact me as much. And overall, I gave it a light 8. I thought it was a very enjoyable album. Liked it.
huh. Also, around this time is when the first Twilight movie came out, and they were on the
Oh.
soundtrack. Their song "Decode" that came out around this time for that soundtrack, fantastic.
Mm,
Highly recommend everyone checks that one out.
I'll have to do
Um,
that.
yeah, it's really good. But
All
go
right.
on.
Cool. All right. Paramore, their self-titled album from 2013. I said, all right, now this might be my controversial opinion. Um,
Well,
I knew at some point there was going to be a transition to a more pop sound, and that definitely starts here. But I can't say I'm always into it, and by it, I mean the pop part. Um, I think if I had listened to this when I was younger, back in like 2015 or so, I would have a lot more
mhm,
fonder feelings about this. Um, but just the blend of pop and rock that they fuse on the album, it just kind of feels like something I've heard 1,000 times over at this point. And it doesn't really stick out in any other way besides Haley Williams being a god on the vocals.
yeah,
Um, However, this is a 67-minute record, hour and 7 minutes, and it goes through
that's
a
fine.
lot of genres during its course. Um, the stuff that leans more into the rock and pop punk feels that we've been doing. Wait, what? Oh, sorry, typo. The stuff that leans more into the rock and pop punk stuff, uh, the, we're doing a bit more for me here than just like the more poppy tracks. The big singles on here with "Ain't It Fun" and "Still Into You" are phenomenal. I said Paramore fans really know how to push out best tracks to be the big singles. I don't know. Maybe the fans don't do that. Whatever. Um,
Yeah.
but there are some really cool genre fusions, like the ones found on Part Two, the song Part Two,
Mhm.
and the 7-minute closer "Future." which
Yeah.
has some of my favorite production of theirs yet. It like kind of does this transition from a really intimate acoustic thing into this big sound, which that's been done a lot of times. I mean, Happier Than Ever comes to mind for the first part, but just the
Yeah.
way it's produced, it's so gradual. And like when I was wearing headphones, I was actually getting chills at how they were doing it. It was really cool.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, there's a lot of things to love about this album. Then there's other things like the three reverby ukulele interludes that just feel super out of place and really outdated. Um, and there were even a few full length tracks that I straight up just didn't enjoy, which is a bit of a first for this analysis. I was actually super worried because the first leg of this record was not drawing me in at all until Ain't It Fun. I think that's like track 5 or 6 or something like that. I think the first leg of this album was the weakest for me. Um, but yeah, thankfully I found more stuff to like after Ain't It Fun, including Ain't It Fun. But so while I don't dislike the album, to me it feels super bloated and a little confused as to what sound it's going for. When it's succeeding, it's their best stuff yet, but when it's not, it just feels a bit awkward for me personally. My favorites were Ain't It Fun, Still Into You, Part 2, Future, Last Hope, and Grow Up. And my least favorites were Interlude, Moving On, Interlude, Holiday, Fast in My Car, Daydreaming, and Be Alone. Overall, I gave it a strong 6.
All right. Yeah. I said a change of pace. I enjoy uh, quite a bit that they decided to experiment with here. Leaning away from the pop punk for the most part, giving a few more ballads on top of kind of introducing the listener to the sound that they'd kind of be playing with in their next release. I like the switch up on production and the instrumentals. They added that new flair as well. And of course, the obligatory Haley is a Goddess.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is not my favorite album by them. While the opener is fun, it's kind of a weird choice. And I could do without the interludes as well. Uh, it's a solid project, but it's definitely a transition period. Um, from what I remember of the Mike the Snare deep discog dive on them,
Mm-hmm.
they were going through a lot of shit.
Yeah, I meant to rewatch that just because I know there was a lot of like context of band members and Haley
Yeah,
Williams going through stuff and just yeah.
yeah. So it's their longest record to date, and it definitely could have been cut down a little bit. Like you were saying, those interludes are fucking weird and kind of out
Yeah.
of place. Um, and also very 2013 with the ukulele. Um, but yeah, it just it felt like Colleen Ballinger was coming in.
Felt like the
Uh,
toxic gossip train was in the scene.
yeah. Um, but yeah, also with the whole going through a lot of shit during the time of this album coming out, they recently changed the album cover on Spotify
Yeah.
to what it is now. Because it had the old member that's no longer there, and I think there's a lot of bad blood between them.
Yeah, there was
Um,
something going on like earlier this year, I think it was. I think it
yeah,
was this year when it changed on Spotify.
yes. Now they got bad blood.
Yeah.
But yeah,
No, that was
it,
January.
fuck. But yeah, the ladies, man. But yeah, it's definitely a transition period. And it's not my favorite, but there's still stuff to enjoy on here, such as my first favorite, "Still Into You." I think it's a perfect song. It's so fun. It's such a good time. Ain't It Fun? Part two, I also really enjoyed, like you were saying. Um, Hate to See Your Heart Break was fun, or not fun. I don't remember. I listened to 3 of these albums today.
Oh wow.
And then I liked Grow Up and Now. My least favorites were Interludes and Fast in My Car. But I still enjoyed it enough to give it a light 7.
Alright,
Yeah.
cool. Just curious, when you said you did 3 of these today, were you jump scared by the time the how long this one was?
I had seen it earlier in the week,
Okay.
so I wasn't. Also, I did it on my way to my clinical for the most of it. So,
Gotcha.
but yeah. But yeah, we hop 4 years later to After Laughter in 2017. Um, oh shit, that's what I'm talking about.
That's
There's
what I
almost
call
no.
music. Sorry.
That's what they should change the title for
Yeah.
to. Oh shit, that's what I'm talking about. Uh, yeah, there's almost nothing I love more in music in general than happy production and instrumentals with sad lyrics.
Mm.
It's just one of my favorite things, and After Laughter brings that tenfold. Um, the complete switch up in their style is extremely impressive and such a breath of fresh air. I love the dreamy art, poppy, rocky shit that they got going on, and they did such a good job of doing it justice on here. Um, from start to finish, this album is really damn good, and I would love to hear more music in this vein from Paramore, or I wrote P more. Um, it's so fun, so bouncy, but also pretty damn sad, and most definitely worth listening to those who haven't checked it out yet. I listened to this one last last year, probably after This Is Why the single dropped. Um, and yeah, I've come back to it a few times. It's so fucking good, and Hard Times starting off the album, so fucking good. That for the first half of the album. Oh my god. But yeah, my favorites are Hard Times, Fake Happy, Caught in the Middle, Rose Colored Boy, Told You So, 26, and Idol Worship, and my least favorite was No Friend. Um, I don't dislike it. It just it's a little forgettable to me. Um, but I give it a solid 9.
All right. Cool. Yeah. After Laughter, 2017. I said fun, dancing music with dark undertones in the lyrics. Bro, I was raised on 21 Pilots. Um, that's definitely where we get that from.
Yeah,
I don't think it should be any surprise that this is right up my alley, just the same as you. But I really enjoyed this record. I'm not sure why I haven't returned to this one much after listening to it, but they took a risk with this poppy sound and they really sold it. They pulled it off really well. Everything sounds fantastic from the tight instrumentals to I really love the unique synths going on too. Like it just has a really I don't even know how to describe it. Like it's almost like kind of like child toys, but like mature. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like just like the instrumental to like hard times, just having like a xylophone as like the main thing.
yeah,
Yeah, like yeah, things like that. Like there's just like
yeah,
cool synthy noises going on the whole time. It's awesome.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, and then Haley's voice on top with catchy groovy hooks art. It's nonstop as well.
yeah.
Little rhyme for you there. um and I said, oh wait, I said the cat. All right, for the most part is what I put there. The first half of this album is fantastic, but I would put a lot of the latter tracks into pretty good territory. But hey, that's still pretty good. I enjoyed
Well,
listening to this one quite a bit, and while I don't think it's perfect by any means, it's still their strongest outing up until this point. It's very good. Um, my favorites are Hard Time, Fake Happy, Rose Colored Boy, 26, Idol Worship, and Tell Me How. And my least favorites were Pool and Grudges. I just thought they were a little forgettable on this listen, but maybe they'll grow on me. I don't know. And I gave it a light to decent 8. I really enjoyed this one.
awesome.
Yeah.
Really good one. Highly recommend people check that one out.
Yes, I would too. All right. Now we come to a close with the final record, Paramore. Just kidding. Final one up until this point. This is why from this year, 2023, year of our Lord. Uh, I said it's probably recency bias, but this absolutely is my favorite sounding Paramore record. This blend of like post punk and pop is something that they just slip into so naturally, and I honestly hope they continue with it into the future, like continue into this sound. Instrumentally and production wise, this is just immaculate. The almost math rock rhythms on some of these tracks are really cool, and I absolutely love just the grooves that are going on here. Haley's also killing it as per usual. I especially love the introspective lyrics she delves into on this project. It almost feels like therapeutic, with like just her discussing deep rooted issues within herself. And it's another highlight of the album, just like the lyrical content in general. But it's not all perfect here. Again, for me, I say that on like four of these. um, but in fact, this album does something kind of special for me because it's actually so good in spots that it's just really noticeable when things aren't working as well in other places. The biggest misstep for me here is C'est Comme Ça, which no matter how hard I try, I just cannot like this song. I find the chorus to be annoying, and the production is just kind of underwhelming, which it isn't on the rest of the album. And even though I enjoy like some of like the lyric delivery with what she's saying, the talky vocals aren't doing much for me either. It's the only song in the discography that I would honestly say I dislike, which just puts a slight sour taste on the rest of the album. Um, However, I do think some tracks, such as like Big Man, Little Dignity, and Crave, lean a little bit too much into the sound they were doing on After Laughter. And like it's good. I like the songs, but it just feels out of place with the rest of the things going on. For me personally, I still think the tracks are good. But so yeah, while I absolutely love the direction taken on this album, I don't think the execution was as clean as it could have been. But when it's working, it is really, really fucking good. When it works, it's some of the best, punchiest, catchiest, and best written stuff in their catalog. And I really love a lot of songs on here. My favorites are Figure Eight is one that's just kind of been in my rotation since it came out. Running Out of Time, This Is Why, You First, and Liar. My least favorites are C'est Comme Ça by a long shot, and then Crave and Big Man Little Dignity I have down there too. And overall, I give it a really strong 7.
Cool. All right. Yep. This is why 2023, the year of our Lord. Yeah. I think that since this album came out, I've listened to it at least 20 times all the way through.
Fair.
But it just goes to show how good it is, and that it hasn't gotten old, and I can still listen to it over and over again. Haley's vocals are at an all-time high on this record, and the instrumentals are so well done and interesting, along with some fantastic production to go along with them. This is also some of their best songwriting and lyricism ever. Um, yeah. I do wish this album was a little longer. And I'm still not a huge fan of C'est Comme Ça. I do like it a little bit more than you do, but I have fun with it. But I can understand the disdain for the chorus. I really do love this album, and I look forward to whatever Miss Williams and the crew get on to next. But yeah, I would love to hear them continue this sound and explore it more. It's just so good, and it never gets old. But yeah, I wholeheartedly disagree with your take on Crave. Crave is one of my favorite tracks from them ever.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she sounds great on it. It's yeah, I don't know. Since this album came out, that's been on rotation for the entire year, pretty much. So yeah, I love that one. I kind of agree with Big Man Little Dignity though. That one's one of my least favorites as well. But yeah, my favorites were Crave, This Is Why, Figure Eight, Running Out of Time, Thick Skull, Liar, and The News. And my least favorites were C'est Comme Ça and Big Man Little Dignity. And I give it a light 9.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, what are your thoughts on this little group called Paramore?
Hold on. That's true.
Insightful.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for my sneeze. Applause.
Yeah.
Yeah, overall, Paramore is an extremely iconic band with a super solid run of albums. I've fallen in love with their music and various styles they've tried throughout the years. Haley Williams is an all-timer for front person and vocalist, and she's most definitely one of my favorites of all time as well. Um, whether it's pop punk, art rock, whatever they want to do in the future, I'm here for it. And God, do I want to see them live someday. But they're one of those bands that I can listen to for a long time without getting sick of it. And like I said in the Nothing But Thieves Stars analysis, that's an extremely special thing to me.
Mm-hmm.
I love this band, and Haley Williams is a fucking icon. And if anything, if you're just looking for some good ass vocals, you want to cry a little bit, you want to have a little bit of fun, just check out Paramore's discography because it's a whole lot of fun, also sad at points. But yeah, it's a great little discography, and I look forward to see what comes in the future. Hopefully, we don't have to wait another 5 years for an album, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for me, I said, well, I'm glad we got to do this one. They've been on the wheel for a while now, and I've been looking forward to checking out their stuff and just looking for an excuse to listen to their stuff. Um, and I can confidently say that they're one of the best bands from the pop punk scene, especially that we've covered from that were like big during that early 2000s era. Well, I guess late 2000s. But yeah, I found them to be extremely consistent to the point where even if I wasn't in love with a song, it was still enjoyable to listen to at like worst. Um, aside from Seikimsa. But other than that, but I basically never found them to be annoying or like they were trying too hard to be cool or something like that. Like we saw a lot with Fallout Boy's later stuff, or I know you like it, but that last MCR album kind of did that to me as well too. But yeah, I think they're just a genuine act who loves making the music that they do. Haley Williams is of course a huge part of their success, and I absolutely see why she's so iconic within their sound. She killed it the whole time. Her vocals are stellar, and even though I admittedly was not super focused on the lyrics through a lot of these albums, the ones that stood out to me were all very good. Um, I do think I'll be revisiting a few of these albums, and I'm glad to finally have some familiarity with their work now. Even like the big songs like "Ain't It Fun" and "Still Into You," like those, like I knew the choruses, but I don't think I'd ever gone out of my way to listen to the full song. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
was pretty good. Like I really enjoyed it. Yeah, my ranking of their albums would go After Laughter, Brand New Eyes, This Is Why, Riot, All We Know Is Falling, and Paramore. Um, and overall, I gave them a decent 7.
All right. Yeah, my ranking goes After Laughter, Riot, This Is Why, Brand New Eyes, Paramore, and then All We Know Is Falling. And overall, I give them a strong 8, a strong figure 8, if you will.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I thought this was very enjoyable. I'm also looking forward to whatever they put out in the future. They're
Yeah.
a really great group. Really great group.
Yeah. It's not crazy how much pop punk we've had to listen to, huh?
Yeah, I was thinking about because I'm like, for some reason I thought Green Day was like the only one we did, and I was like, oh no, there was also My Chemical Romance. Oh no, there was also Fall Out Boy.
Oh, there's also Panic a little bit.
There was that one Panic album. Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty
Oh yeah,
crazy.
we definitely did a Panic at the Disco Darkness analysis.
Yeah, we did.
I straight up don't remember doing that.
What was
Was Viva Las
that?
Vengeance out when we did that? I don't think
I
it was.
don't think so.
that
Oh,
that
man.
must have been a really early episode.
In there? I'm trying to see if it's in this notebook. Uh,
I mean, I doubt it because I feel like I remember you switching that notebook more clearly than I remember doing that episode.
yeah, because I remember because the last thing I have in that old one was the Green Day one.
Oh
And
yeah.
I feel like Panic was after.
So they were episode. Okay, so it was before Viva Las Vengeance, because that was episode 77, and the Panic at the Disco Artist Analysis was episode 50, right on the dot.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy.
So that was, it says a year ago, but okay. Oh, we actually uploaded that on Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2020.
Uh-huh. Oh,
Not 2020, sorry, 2022.
yeah, I was gonna say we can start that. Uh, yeah, so that's pretty far back in this.
Yeah. It's
Uh,
when was the John Medallion one? 'Cause
John Glenn was our first
I know he
one.
was first. I think exactly. No.
I think it's August 2021. Looks
Okay.
like.
Okay, so we had a few episodes between um John Medallion and them. So like they were one of the first ones, but not like the first.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. Uh good. I liked this pop punk more than some of the other pop punk we've listened to.
Yeah. That's
Especially Green
completely.
Day.
I can't believe you didn't like Green Day.
Yeah.
It's a real surprise for me.
I couldn't believe you gave every single one of their albums over a 9.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
really surprising to me.
Father of All deserves more love. Is all I'm saying.
In fuck time, man. That song still haunts me.
I forgot about fuck time. Holy shit!
uh,
God, 13 albums. What a time.
yeah,
Um,
and I think a lot of them were like over an hour.
there were. God.
All right. Well, we should probably wrap up. We're definitely over time here. And I'm segueing, but I'm the one who's doing song. I don't know what I want to choose.
You
So I
motherfucker.
know I'm a little kooky like that. Okay. So the ones that we have chosen so far, I think there's only two.
This is
Um.
why. Hallelujah.
Oh, and running out of time. Um.
Right.
Cool. You know what? I'm gonna go for a classic. I think this is honestly like their catchiest chorus, and my favorite of their big hits. I'm gonna go with uh, wait, shit, sorry, I just forgot the name of it. I'm so sorry. Ain't it fun? Woo!
Ain't it fun living in the real world?
All right, that was "Ain't It Fun" by Paramore. What did you think of that, Colin? First time hearing that.
Yeah. It's a fucking banger, man. I don't know what to say. It's just so fun, so catchy. The fucking like church choir
Mm.
going on is it's infectious. It's so good. Um, yeah, I don't know. That's a very big one by them. So many people have heard that. So, but even so, go listen to it again because it's
Yeah.
fucking fantastic.
Yeah, no, I mean, I had heard that chorus before, and it sticks with me. It's such a good chorus. It's so catchy,
Mhm.
infectiously. But yeah, I also like the gospel choir elements. I like the groove and the bass going on in the verses and the "What do you
Yeah,
wanna do?" Like it's just so fun.
I also love
Ain't it fun?
the cymbal hits,
The what? Sorry.
like just the cymbal hits and the percussion. Like
Oh yeah,
it's so fucking
yeah,
good.
yeah. It's real good. And before we started, I was like, the song is 5 minutes, and even after listening to it, I'm like, that song's 5 minutes. Good,
Yeah,
good
yeah, it
song.
goes by.
Um, but yeah. Well, what do you have for us today?
Well, in order to, I want to diversify a little bit, so we're not picking from the same albums. We already have a couple from This Is Why and one from Riot. But After Laughter was both our favorite album by Paramore,
True.
and they got nothing on the playlist from there yet. So I'm gonna go with the opener. I'm gonna go with Hard Times by Paramore.
All right.
Hard times gonna make you wonder why you even try. Hard times gonna take.
Ooh,
Ooh.
that was that was Hard Times by Paramore. What'd you think, Mike?
You know what? Um, it's a contradiction because of how happy it sounds. Lyrics
Mm,
are so down.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a great song. Like I said, that's pretty much the only song. No, it is the only. Well, okay, sorry. aside from This Is Why, the album, it's the only song of theirs that I like am actually familiar with, that I listen to regularly in my playlist and stuff. It's a great one. I love all the creativity going on with like the sounds. Like, yeah, it's a poppy song, but there's also like really cool guitar effects going on.
Okay.
It's double in a xylophone. It sounds cool. Like
Yeah.
it's just super catchy, super groovy, super creative. Love it.
Mhm. Yeah, it's fantastic. It's such a good opener to an album as well. Really, really introduces the listener to the feel that After Laughter was going to give. Um, and a really good music video as well. I don't know
Yes.
if you've seen it,
Oh
but
yeah.
um, yeah, it's really, really good shit. They get a little Daft Punky at the end.
Yeah.
Um, it's it's really all over the place. I love the xylophone. I love the cool effects. I love the ooh. Um, it's such a good fucking song. I love it so much.
I remember when I first heard that song, I actually didn't like that part. I thought it was stupid. I'm gonna get
You
to
didn't like
rock
the
bottom. Ooh. Just
ooh.
like, what's the point? Why is Minecraft Steve here? You know, like,
That's
no.
another sound I do the sound for.
Yeah, yeah. Add
Ugh.
Minecraft Steve. Yeah.
Ooh.
I'll add like the old bone cracking noises from when you fall. um,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I mean, I obviously love it now. I just remember I had that realization just right now. Like, I remember I didn't like that at one point. Once again, we don't talk
But
about my 2017 music taste.
yeah, I mean, hey, you liked 21 Pilots.
That's true. But I also
And
liked Regional at Best.
true.
Actually,
Yep.
I'm gonna do one more thing that I recalled during this. She mentions at one point that all she wants is a hole in the ground or whatever,
Uh-huh.
and I know in my mindset back then, because I vividly remember always thinking it. There is a song from No Fun Intended, Tyler
Oh,
Joseph's, uh, Tyler Joseph's EP, um, from when he was a teenager. That doesn't sound that great, but that I loved at the time. It's called
that's putting it nicely.
yeah, and the song is called "Hole in the Ground." And I remember every time she said, "All I want is a hole in the ground," I'm like, that's another um my music taste is not great back then.
It's
Trends
okay.
changed everything, I'm telling you, man.
Yeah. We're all constantly growing and evolving. It's
Yeah.
okay. Evolve.
By Imagine Dragons, another thing I was into at that time.
Yes.
Yeah, great song.
Yes. But yeah, that was our artist analysis on Paramore. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you go check them out for yourself, because if you haven't already, because good shit.
Agreed.
Good shit. But yeah, we'll be back at you next week with a little bit of bracket. We'll figure that out.
Oh yeah. I mean,
But
we already know what we're doing.
yes,
Yeah.
and I definitely don't get off at 11 p.m. next Friday. So yeah. But anyway, thank you so much for joining us. Whether you're on streaming services or on YouTube, thank you very much. We love you. But if you're on YouTube and you'd rather be just listening to us, you can hop over to anywhere you listen to podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, any of the other ones. But if you want to see our beautiful Discord icons or our beautiful faces last week, you can hop on over to YouTube under the same name, capital NBOIS.
Damn right.
Damn right. This week I am Among Us, and Mike is still Howard Hamlin.
Of course.
Um, that'll never change.
In memoriam. I mean,
What?
that's a joke for
Okay.
those of you who haven't seen
Yes.
it or are watching the show.
Nothing bad. Nothing bad ever happens to Howard.
Howard Hamlin has a perfect life throughout the entire show.
Yes. He yes. But yeah, if you wanna check out the songs of the week, we have 3 playlists. There's one for me, one for Mike, and one for both of us. And we where you can listen to either uh, "Ain't It Fun" by Paramore or "Hard Times" by Paramore. Um, yeah, there's a lot of music on there. Surpassed 19 hours recently.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you'll go through every emotion possible, from festive in Christmas season to even sad in the Christmas season with "Oh Noel."
That's yeah, yeah, very true.
um, Speaking of I don't know how, but yeah, there's a plethora of songs in there that you might hate, you might love. Go listen to the dumb song; it's in there.
It's a good one.
Yeah, I listened to it once. It was on the podcast. But yeah, if you want to find us other places, first off, you're weird. Um, you can find Mike in a lot of different places. He's got a big presence. Um,
Well, depending on how you look at
yeah,
it.
we're active on many different things.
Yeah.
You can listen to his music under the name Plaintive. He's got an album called Coping Mechanism, and it's fantastic. Really love it, and I'm not biased at all.
Oh.
Um, you can go check that out. It's really genuinely good, and I think everyone should check it. Um, but yeah, you can find that anywhere you listen to music: Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, SoundCloud. Um,
Yes.
it's there, and you can listen to it. Listen to it on all of them.
Mm-hmm. At the same
Okay.
time.
Yes,
Sync them up.
but like started at different times, so it's all playing at weird
Yeah.
intervals.
Start them like a second away from each other.
I was thinking like a couple minutes
Mm-hmm.
after each other. So like one of them will be at like Be Mine, and the next one will be at like Honest Two, and
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Yeah,
so you just get
put them all on shuffle too.
yeah,
So you get what you get. In
yes,
each ear.
that's what you get. Um, but you can find Mike in other places as well. He on top of being a legendary musician, you can find his mimicry of other musicians on his YouTube channel,
Yes.
where he did piano covers um, of various songs, and maybe some guitar covers soon. Who knows?
Maybe.
You can also check out his score his plaintive scores channel, where he just uploaded his band composition for Just by Radiohead, like you talked about earlier. Um, yeah, he also has an album of the year where he rates and reviews music, where I'm sure you can find all the Paramore stuff we just talked about, or
It'll be
soon at
there.
least.
Yeah, it'll be there by the time the episode.
Yeah, you can find him on TikTok. You can find him on Instagram. He's all over the place, really. Am I missing anything that you're on?
Not that I'm on, but I am 6 feet below them in a hole in the ground.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What's the significance there? Huh?
So Hole in the Ground is a song by Tyler Joseph, lead singer of 21 Pilots, from his 2007 project, No Fun Intended. Yes.
um, yeah, I'm glad to hear it.
Mhm.
Not that you're dead, but that you're, you know,
In a hole in the ground.
alive in a hole in the ground. But yeah, you can find me places as well. Not as many places. I don't make any music. I wish I could, but I'm not that talented.
Gotta start making some
uh,
lo-fi beats.
you're so right. I'm gonna get back into GarageBand.
Yeah, there you go.
Um, I can be better than Dream. It's
I
not. That's
don't
not
doubt
hard
it.
feat.
I was gonna say it's not a tough barrier to pass. If you have some passion, you're good.
So, you can find me some places. I also have an album of the year where I write and review music. Still trying to get caught up, but I'm very busy right now.
Boo.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I also have a letterbox where I write and review movies. I did start watching Dungeons and Dragons this week. So
Oh shit, we're
maybe
progressing. We're progressing.
maybe I will finish it at some point.
Like me saying, I picked up my guitar for the guitar covers.
I also have an old Instagram review page where I used to rate and review albums. You're gonna have to excavate that. It's been buried in a hole for a
In the
long
ground?
time in the ground. Yeah, but it's there. You can check it out. I also run the TikTok and the Twitter for the podcast. Yeah, I update whenever an album comes out, whenever an episode comes out, every Monday. And yeah, and then TikTok. Sometimes I post some funny clips from the show. But I think that's everywhere that I am, other than 6 feet above you
Wow.
in a hole of the sky.
Whoa. Okay, I
Yeah.
was about to say points for originality, but like non-sarcastically. Now that's some pretty trippy shit.
Yes, I've punched a hole in the ozone layer, and I'm just kind of sitting there.
The ozone layer is 6 feet above us.
Yeah, it's surrounding us. It's all around us, really.
Oh, okay.
It's like God. He's all around.
Oh yes. The omnipotent ozone layer.
Yeah, and then since me and Mike are above and below you, we might as well come together
Might as
and
well.
hug you from weird angles this week, honestly. But I'll hug your head, and Mike will hug your ankles.
Yeah, I won't. I
And
won't go between the legs. I'll do the. I'll stay at the foot level.
Yeah. Unless you want him to go above that, but that's up to you. It has to be completely consensual.
Yeah.
Mike does not go further than the ankles.
And for clarification, yes, yeah. For clarification, Colin's using gravity, and I am using magnetism because I'm holding a big magnet, and I'm holding a tungsten cube.
That's a heavy shit. That's some heavy shit.
So am I.
Yeah, we're gonna come together. We're gonna hug you, top and the bottom. And we're gonna come together in what's called a love cage, where you're in the middle between us, and me and Mike are gonna hug you. And then somehow from this angle, we'll find a way to make out.
We'll just extend our tongues like snakes.
Yeah, I might just have to spit in Mike's mouth from above.
I'll have to get a really good force on mine to get it up to you.
Yeah. But yeah, if you would like your own love cage, because that one is the most pleasant one we've ever said.
Yeah.
You can get your own by dropping your address in the comments below. Losing my voice a little bit here.
Sorry.
You can drop your address in the comments below if you want your own. If you want your own love cage, and we just fulfilled one today. It's like a Make-A-Wish kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
We just fulfilled a wish today. Ironically, it was a Make-A-Wish.
Yeah. That's
yeah.
Normally we say that it could happen at any point, at any time, but being a Make-A-Wish kid kind of gives you like a fast pass. So
Yeah, it does.
yeah.
It was scheduled well ahead of time, but and unlike most Make-A-Wish people, we were paid for it. But you don't have to pay for it, because if you're one of the lucky few, you can get your own love cage. You won't know when it's coming. You won't know where it's coming. You won't know where we're coming from, but you will know that Mike is behind you or below you at somewhere, and I will be in front of or above you.
Yes.
But yeah, you can get your own. I don't think I'm missing anything, but thank you guys so much for watching, listening, enjoying it. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, I love you guys.
Love you. Send some love to Colin.
Yeah, hit that boom, Mike.
Oh shit. Hold on.
Bye bye. Bye bye.